Welcome back to another how-to character guide, and today Sunday from Honkai Star Rail, and yeah, he's broken. Let's just jump right into it. Sunday is the newest 5-star imaginary harmony unit coming to Honkai Star Rail, and if you're familiar with Bronya, you'll be extremely familiar with Sunday. Their kids are oddly similar, but Sunday's is just like a million times better. So first and foremost, his kit, what does it do? So his normal attack, Sunday just shoots out a blast dealing AoE imaginary damage. It looks cool, but you'll hardly use this unless you need skill points, so don't worry about it. So for the meat and bones, Sunday's skill advances the action of one teammate and their summon, granted they have one, giving them a 30% damage buff in the process. And if the character he advances does have a summon, like Lingsha, Topaz, Jingyuan, then they will also gain an extra 50% damage buff for 2 turns. And finally, if Sunday casts his skill on the Beatified, he will recover 1 skill point. And keep in mind, he does also cleanse debuffs, right? So keep that in mind. So a whopping 80% damage buff for summon allies, cleanses debuffs, and advances action. Sounding oddly familiar now, isn't it? And if you're wondering what the Beatified teammate is, don't worry, I'll cover that shortly. So then for his ultimate, Sunday's ultimate allows him to select one target and regenerate 20% of their energy. After you use Sunday's ult on a character, they, and if they have a summon, will become the Beatified state, which I mentioned earlier. Those who are marked as the Beatified have their crit damage increased by 30% of Sunday's crit damage, plus an additional flat 12% crit damage. The allied character will remain the Beatified for 3 turns, decreasing by 1 at the start of Sunday's turn. Side note that only one character can be the Beatified at a time, and if Sunday is defeated, the character will lose the Beatified state, so make sure to keep your Sunday alive at all costs. Now for his talent, technique, and traces. So if you thought that his skill didn't provide enough buffs, with his talent, anytime Sunday uses a skill on an ally, they will have their crit rate increased by 20% for 3 turns. Super busted, and that means you can probably build a little bit more crit damage on some of your units. His technique, after using his technique and entering battle, the first time Sunday uses any kind of ability on his ally, their damage is increased by 50% lasting 2 turns. Absolutely ridiculous. And finally, his 3 traces. Trace 1, Rest Days Longing, will regenerate 40 energy if the energy the ally would have gotten from Sunday's ultimate was less than 40. Trace 2, Exalted Sweep. When the battle starts, Sunday will regenerate 25 energy. And Trace 3, Haven in Palm. When he uses his skill, he will remove 1 debuff from the target. Again, rest in peace, Bronya. His minor traces give him 37.3% crit damage, 18% effect res, and 12.5 defense percent. Now for all my big spenders out there, I'll go over his Eidolons next. His E1, the character who Sunday uses his skill on will ignore 16% of the enemy's defense, and if they have a summon, their summon will ignore 40% of the enemy's defense. This will last 2 turns. His E2, after the first use of Sunday's ultimate, recover 2 skill points, and the damage dealt by the Beatified will increase by 30%. His E3 and E5 increases ultimate and skill plus 2. His E4, when Sunday's turn starts, regenerate 8 energy. And his E6, Sunday's talent that provides 20% crit rate for 3 turns can stack up to 3 times, and its duration is increased from 3 to 4 turns. Sunday's ultimate can now also activate the talent's effect, and if the target's crit rate goes over 100%, every 1% of crit rate over 100 will be converted to 2% crit damage. That E6 sounds absolutely busted, so like you literally don't even have to rebuild your characters because they'll just keep giving themselves crit damage if they're over that 100%. Now for his relic set, Sacerdo's Relieved Ordeal is his best in slot by far. The 2-piece increases speed by 6%, and the 4-piece, when using skill or ultimate on an ally, increase all allies' crit damage by 18%, lasting 2 turns, and this effect can stack up to 2 times. I would heavily recommend this. However, if you can't use this set because you don't have it, Messenger Traversing Hackerspace is really good too. The 2-piece gives you speed plus 6, And the 4-piece effect, when the wearer uses their ultimate on an ally, increase the speed for all allies by 12% for 1 turn. And if somehow you can't find like a good 4-piece of like either of these, you can mix and match both the Sacerdos and Messenger for the best speed on Sunday. For planar sets, you want to run the 2-piece Broken Keel or the 2-piece Lushaka, the Sunken Seas. The Broken Keel will increase the wearer's effect res by 10%, and when effect res is over 30%, all allies' crit damage is increased by 10%. Keep in mind, since Sunday already starts with the default 18%, assuming you unlocked all his traces, you realistically only need one more effect res substat to activate the effect, so it's like super easy, super fast. For Lushaka, the Sunken Seas, the 2-piece increases energy regeneration rate by 5% and increases the attack of the party member in the first slot by 12%, not including the wearer. Keep in mind this will increase the attack and energy regeneration of the party member in the first slot, but this kind of won't really help the rest of your team, so just keep that in mind. Now for the main stats on your relics, for your body, you're going to want crit damage. On your boots, you're going to want speed. On your sphere, you're going to want either HP percent or defense percent. And for your rope, you're going to want energy recharge rate. For your substats, you want crit damage, speed, effect res, HP percent, or defense percent. Keep in mind that you always want to keep your Sunday at -1 speed from your main DPS to provide them that second attacking turn, essentially just like Branya. Now for light cones, so Sunday's signature light cone, a grounded ascent, is easily his best in slot. If I'm being honest, I think this is a must pull, so if you have the resources, I would definitely pull this. So what this light cone does is, after using skill or ultimate on an ally, the wearer will regenerate 6 energy, and the ally will receive 1 stack of him, for 3 turns, stacking up to 3 times. Each stack of him increases the ally's damage by 15%, and after the wearer uses their ultimate or skill 2 times on an ally, you will recover 1 skill point. This essentially solves any energy issues he has, and basically makes him SP positive. Another good 5-star light cone is But the Battle Isn't Over. This is Bronya's light cone. This increases energy recharge rate and regenerates 1 skill point when using the ultimate on an ally. Keep in mind this can only be triggered after every 2 uses of their ultimate. Also, when the wearer uses their skill, the next ally taking action will have their damage increase for 1 turn, and since Sunday can advance action for any teammate, this is very helpful. 2 4-star light cones I would recommend are Past and Future, which, when the wearer uses their skill, increase the damage of the next ally taking action by X%. This percent will depend on what super imposition you have it at. Carve the Moon, Weave the Cloud is another good one. It is in the Battle Pass. At the start of the battle and on the wearer's turn, one of the 3 effects is activated. All allies attack increased by X%, all allies crit damage increased by X%, or all allies energy recharge rate increased by X%. Again, the percent depends on your superimposition levels. And last but certainly not least, the team section. It hurts me to say, but Sunday's just Branya, but a lot better. And that's to be expected from a limited 5-star Harmony unit. So anywhere you would slot Branya, you now want to slot in Sunday. For example, one of my personal favorite teams is Boot Hill, Branya, Ranmei, Ho-Ho. So now instead you want to slot in Sunday. So Boot Hill, Sunday, Ranmei, Ho-Ho. And this goes for essentially any team you put Branya in, right? Sunday is going to be your new go-to. Characters like Jing Yuan are going to gain massive damage because of him. Because Branya might have been able to buff him, but now Sunday's able to buff him even more on top of buffing his summon. So absolutely ridiculous. So a good team for Jing Yuan would be Jing Yuan, Sunday, Robin, and any sustain. I like Woho for the energy recharge. Adventuring, Fushad, Linkshot work just fine. Gallagher is also working here because he's very SP positive. Another one of my favorite teams, Blade, Branya, Ho-Ho, Ranmei. Now instead I can run Blade, Sunday, Branya, right? Double Harmony just to get Blade more turns and eventually reach like 100k damage, right? Another good team, Jinglu, Sunday, Ranmei, any form of sustain, right? Super solid. Gonna bring Jinglu back, make her at least a little bit more better. Imbibitor Lune, Don Hong, Sunday, Sparkle, sustain. Boom. A lot of new teams. Hyper Carry is not dead, people. I think Sunday's gonna at least bring him back a little bit. I do think that once the Remembrance Path comes back with their summons, I think he's gonna kind of switch over to that role. But at least we can enjoy it while we have it, right? And the possibilities are endless, especially if you play Hyper Carry. and Sunday is definitely a Harmony unit you're gonna want. Sunday looks to be very promising. He looks like a very strong Harmony unit. I think I always said, I was like, Bronny's never gonna get power cred. Bronny's gonna stay at the top forever and ever. And I'm meaning those words right now. I'm not gonna lie, I'm meaning those words. It sucks that my poor Bronya had to get power crept, but at least it was by someone like super cool and awesome. I'm not complaining. If I had to rate Mr. Sunday on a scale of 1 through 5 Wohos, I think Mr. Sunday is gonna be our first, drum roll please, 5 Wohos out of 5 Wohos. His kid is like amazing. As like I was writing the script, as I was like looking at the teams, as I was watching videos, I was like, this what can't this man what can't this man do, right? And I'm a big Bronya Glazer, so seeing the kid was just like, oh my goodness, this is like perfect. This is perfect. Sucks for Bronya, but I mean, it's a really good kid. So good luck on everyone that's subbing on him. I wish you guys nothing but the best on both his light cone, if you guys are going for that, his Eidolons, him himself. So yeah, good luck everyone. Have fun pulling for Sunday. Good luck building him. Yeah, have fun. Take care. Trolls on your blocked.